This is the #1 personal finance book of all time. The book talks about two dads, a rich and a wealthy dad, a poor and a broke dad. And the book is for every single entrepreneur and every entrepreneur. It helps them understand the secrets of money and understanding how the rich get richer and the wealthy and get wealthier and the poor stay poor. And in the book, the author shows two different perspectives of someone who a poor-minded dad and a perspective of a rich-minded father, and how each different perspective comes into play. And the book is none other than Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I spent the last few days rereading the book and taking notes on it. And then today I'm going to show you the 3 takeaways that I got from the book and how they can help you on your journey to entrepreneurship and how you can understand them better and how to get wealthy. So without further ado, let's begin. So key takeaway number 1 is that rich people don't work for money. Let me explain to you what that means. So how a poor person and a middle class person they do is they have a sort of an employment, a job, and that's their source of income. So basically what the end of the day they're doing is they're trading their time for money, and that's how they're actually making money. However, for a rich person, what they do is they build assets. Those assets come in different sorts of types like investments, businesses, real estate. And those assets is what actually generates passive income for them. So rather than working for their money, they're actually putting their money to work for them by building their assets collection. However, the assets come in different ideas and terms. For an asset can be considered for a poor person and a middle class person different than an asset that can be considered for a rich person. So that's what I'm going to get to in key takeaway number 2 is the importance of assets. So without further ado, let's begin in that one. So key takeaway number 2 is understanding the difference between assets and liability, which in other words is financial literacy. So what is an asset? An asset is something that'll generate you money. They'll put in more money into your pocket. While a liability is something that will take away money from your pocket that can come in sorts of like expenses. So first, I'll explain those in an example. So first of all, let's look at a cash flow pattern of a poor person. So a poor person, they have a job, and the job brings in income from their salary. But what they end up doing is that they spend the money on taxes, rent, food, transportation, and clothes. Now the cash flow pattern for the middle class is that they have also jobs where they bring in income as well. They're using that income that they bring in to pay their expenses and liabilities. So they have liabilities like mortgages, car loans, credit card debt, and school loans. And then after they pay off those liabilities, they also have to pay their expenses, which are taxes, and those mortgage payments, and those car payments, and the credit cards, and school loans. Now, all of those are liabilities, all those expenses that are taking away money from your pocket. While lastly, let's look at a cash flow panel of a rich person. So a rich person, they have assets in real estate, stocks, bonds, notes, and intellectual property. And all those are sources of income. So some of them, they get like rental income, dividends, interest, and royalties. Now, I'll touch what each one is on a different story in a different video because each one needs a video of its own because they are very meaty topics and very heavy ones. But go back to the topic, just look at those as sources of income, something that's putting in more money into their pocket. However, they still have liabilities, such as mortgages, consumer loans, credit cards, and some expenses like taxes and mortgage payments. Now, going back to the example of a rich person and a poor and middle class person is, let's look at this way. So, a lot of people in the middle class or the poor class, after they graduate from their college and they get a steady and income job, what they do is rather than investing their money into assets, they'll invest their money into a house. Now, in their sense, in their perspective, that's considered as an asset. But in a rich person's perspective, that's considered as a liability. Why? Because the house that you just put your money in, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. You're going to have to pay mortgages, down payments. You're going to be in loan. It's going to take away money from your pocket. Well, a rich person, on the other hand, what they would do is they would put their money into assets like stocks or real estate properties so they can make money, passive income. So those real estate properties that they're putting in, they're making rental income from them, the rat race. Patterns for a rich and a poor and a middle class person. So a rich person is what they do is they make money. They invest their money in assets and then they pay taxes. While a middle class person, what they do is they make money. They pay off their expenses and their liabilities. And then they pay the taxes. And whatever they have left is that they invest. And that's why the rich will keep getting richer and the poor will keep getting poorer. So that's why you see a lot of people when they make more money, when their salaries get increased, they have to pay more in taxes. And not only that, they have to pay more in liabilities because the middle class person is going to keep expanding their liabilities and try to invest what little money they have saved. A rich person focuses on paying their assets first. And that was the third key concept that I touched on, which was a rat race. There was one thing that I didn't touch on. I understand there's a lot of things I didn't touch on from that book that might seem valuable. Well, they are valuable, but however, they are really meaty topics. Topics that are supposed to be discussed in another video. Topics that require a video of their own. Topics that needs a personal understanding. And each topic has a book that's made for it specifically. For example, a topic of taxes and corporations. Those have a book of its own and a discussion of its own because they are really meaty topics. Now, Rich Dad Poor Dad is supposed to be a generalized money understanding book. Well, those books touch deeply on how taxes and those other concepts of investing and real estate work. This one doesn't. And that's why I didn't touch on the rest of the key concepts about that book. If you have a book that you want me to read or a topic that you want me to discuss, then please comment down below. And as always, thank you.